Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So the Met Gala happened and the theme was Black Dandyism, celebrating Black excellence, right? But as with all things great, there's always a bit of controversy. This morning I woke up and I saw a lot of things on my FYP with people not happy about how Bollywood's superstar, like the king of Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, was interviewed by Teyana Taylor and Ego and Nwodim. Yeah, so they're coming for them for the way they interviewed him.
We are here with Shah Rukh Khan, who is the first male Bollywood actor to attend the Met Gala. Please tell us how it feels to make history tonight.
I don't know about history, but I'm extremely nervous and excited. And Sabyasachi, who convinced me to come here. I've not done too many red carpets. I'm very shy. So for me, it's the first time. But looking at you both, it's wonderful to be here.
Oh, thank you. And this is the designer tonight. Yes.
Sabyasachi.
You did a great job, Sabyasachi. Yes.
Thank you.
The carpet tonight is actually blue. So does that make you any less nervous?
Yes, now I'm absolutely all right.
It's okay now.
Now I'm all there now. Now I'm
Everything changes when you find out it's a blue carpet.
Right. No, the blue carpet look good too.
Yeah.
On everybody.
I think so. What are you most excited about tonight?
For me, most exciting is I have little kids who are very excited about Met. I don't know if I would have come here on my own, but when Sabya suggested that I should come, they went, wow. So I still don't know, is it wow? They call you. Wow, that you'll be good on it.
What's your inspiration behind this look, like tonight's look?
The tonight's look is because I told Sabya that I only wear black and white, but what is designed for me is what I'm most comfortable in. Because that's how I think it should be. So I'm really excited.
And just
the stick special.
Yeah.
That's
cold.
and just to give you a little bit of context, Shah Rukh Khan is probably one of the most famous men in the world, and his fan following is legendary. And we nearly had a stampede outside the hotel when he came out. And you know, when you get a man like this on the red carpet, especially when it's Black Dandy, I think representation is the most important thing, and we wanted to represent Shah Rukh Khan as Shah Rukh Khan and nobody else.
Okay, well, Sabi, I think you did your thing. Shari, you look fantastic. I hope your kids are proud. You got to be proud of Dad. Dad did his thing.
Dad did his thing,
Yeah.
That you daddy on a carpet. Now you got to go on a carpet and show the kids.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'll be so cool on the carpet for my kids, you don't know.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to rock it, yes.
All right.
Dad.
Thank you
That
so
carpet
much.
killing.
Thank you,
for
you're
stopping
kind.
by.
Thank you both.
What do you think? Were they being disrespectful? Was it not appropriate? Was it bad? Was it dry? Please let me know in the comment section, okay? Now, this is what people had to say, and I'm not going to play every single one of them, just clips from other clips, okay? So this is what people had to say about the interview.
Bothered me all day about the Met Gala is the fact that those interviewers who were interviewing Shah Rukh Khan did not know who he was, and he's being so humble about it.
What the hell? I actually think I'm gonna cry. And I know that sounds crazy, but as a South Asian girl, we don't get any representation.
When I saw the interview, it pissed me off because like the way they were acting and the way they were talking to him was like he's nobody.
Not just show up to events. He is the event. The carpet was lucky he walked on it. So a hot tip, next time you're interviewing someone and you don't know who they are, just assume that they're Shah Rukh Khan. Because statistically...
Yeah, I'm so upset about this interview that happened at the Met Gala. Complete disrespect to Shah Rukh Khan and Sabyasachi. How are you going to be a Met Gala host with the Vogue mic? That is my dream job. That is my dream gig to...
When you are interviewing someone and you don't know them, at least pretend like you do. I feel like that should be part of the job, is acting like you know the person that you're interviewing, because they're obviously supposed to be there, especially when it comes to someone like Shah Rukh Khan, who answered a lot of their questions with a lot of grace, being who he is. And the fact that Sabyasachi had to step in and say he is probably the most famous man in this room right now, and to then act surprised, is a little it's a little embarrassing.
Not Shah Rukh Khan being questioned as to whether or not he was excited to be at the Met Gala, being almost one of the most famous actors in the world. And I get it. Sometimes America can be very self-centered in its own actors, entertainment industry, and things of that nature. But my goodness, if you're going to be at the red carpet interviewing folks from all over the world, you need to do a little research.
Well, this has got a lot of people talking, so we are going to get into what they had to say about what people had to say about the interview. Does it make sense? Okay, now before we get into that, I just have a little take, And not that it matters. I'm a nosy bystander. So I feel like with events like this, where there are superstars, stars upon stars, to the point that there are stars interviewing stars, I feel like when you get to the door, you leave your crown at the gate. Leave your phones with that and get your assistants with the phones in the next playroom answering very important calls, and you go mingle with other superstars. Am I wrong? That's how I see it, okay? This is not the show about who is the most superstar of all the superstars, is it?
Remember when those influencers who were interviewing Babyface at the Grammys pretty much shoved him to the side so that they could interview Chaperone? That's what I was expecting to see when I Googled the Shah Rukh Khan Vogue interview. I was mentally preparing myself for Nwodim and Teyana Taylor to do something so egregious, just so ridiculous to this man that, you know, this is the reason that everyone is talking about this. And then I look at it and there's people in the comments arguing, talking about, oh, it was disrespectful of them to ask if he was excited to be there. What? Saying, well, they didn't know him, obviously. I feel like they did know they were going to interview him because they asked a very specific question that was, how did he feel about making history being the first male Bollywood actor to go? And then people are mad at that question saying, oh, you're making it seem like this is his only accomplishment. What? When Beyonce made history at the Grammys, they asked her how she felt about it. That doesn't mean that that's the only accomplishment she's ever had in her life. It has to do with the situation that they're currently in. I watched them ask just about every celebrity to say their name and who they were wearing. It's an interview question. Journalists have even asked that interview question since I've been watching the Met Gala and award shows since the early 2000s. And honestly, I think this discourse is teetering on the line of anti-blackness. The way in which you guys are so comfortable calling these very talented Black women uneducated and stupid and uncultured because they didn't have the reaction that you wanted them to have says a lot. Because you mispronouncing their names and saying that they're nobodies is exactly why the theme was Black dandyism. Because although Black culture is seen as the pinnacle of pop culture globally, Black people are disrespected. You don't consume any type of Black media to know who those women are. But then you get mad at Americans for not being excited about Shah Rukh Khan or not knowing who Shah Rukh Khan is. Ironic, isn't it? And this is coming from someone who knows him. I'm a fan of him and his films. I'm a fan of his daughter as well. The Archies is actually one of my favorite Bollywood musicals. I know that's a bit of a touchy subject, but I like the film. I just think that this whole conversation has been blown out of proportion. It really has been. If you want to say that you don't like seeing celebrities interviewing, then say that. But to call these women out of their name and make it seem as though they're stupid because they weren't on their knees for him is odd.
To the South Asians on here trying to make the case that Shah Rukh Khan was disrespected on the carpet of the Met Gala simply because he was asked standard interview questions. The first one being, hey, as the first Bollywood attendee, are you excited? I don't think you know what disrespect is. Because yes, Shah Rukh Khan is objectively one of the most famous actors on planet Earth and has been for over 2 decades. But why was this the first Met Gala he attended? I think it was a coincidence that this also happened to be the first Met Gala where an underrepresented population finally was at the helm of the theme and the guest list. Does that feel like an accident to you? When I think of other similar star-studded global events, like Cannes, for instance, did you know members of Bollywood have been attending Cannes since the late 40s? Did you know that in 1983, we had the first Bollywood director sit on the jury? Aishwarya Rai became the first Bollywood actress to sit on the jury at Cannes over 20 years ago. Why do you think it took so long here? Could it be, interestingly, that when Black Americans in this country gain representation and power, we all, as minorities, gain representation and power? Or is that just a conspiracy theory? It is increasingly alarming to me that the South Asian community has no real concept of what Black Americans have done for us here. That's disrespectful. And it's not just disrespectful, it's dangerous. Because as I've tried to make clear in video after video, in conversation after conversation, to this administration, melanin is melanin is melanin. You're worried about representation? Without solidarity, this administration is going to pick us off one by one. But good luck with that anti-blackness. Hope that proximity to whiteness works out for you.
I'm sorry, this Shah Rukh Khan stuff is giving Robbie Williams all over again. And it's really interesting because Black people understand this, because Black people have what we call Black famous. We know, Teyana Taylor is Black famous. Every Black person knows who Teyana Taylor is, but we wouldn't be shocked if non-Black people didn't know who she was, right? And here she is talking to a man, asking him questions that show that she knows exactly who he is. And still everyone's like, they need to apologize. That was so disrespectful. Just because they weren't fawning over him? Y'all, just because somebody is famous in your neck of the woods doesn't mean that they're famous everywhere. Please understand that. We understand that. We understand that just fine. We could have just met a new celebrity and been like, oh, he's cool, we should check him out. But his stylist wanted to act like we should have been fawning over him and acting like he was the most special human being to ever exist.
Black famous. Black famous basically means a celebrity that is more famous to Black people than they are to the world at large. So I hate to break it to a lot of South Asians. Your boy Shah Rukh Khan is South Asian famous. Yeah, I know y'all said he global and everybody knows who he is, but clearly they don't. I've never heard of him. Never saw him before the Met Gala. And why would a Bollywood actor need to be censored at an event that's supposed to be representing Black excellence anyway? And the fact that you all are calling the two young ladies presenters without knowing who they are actually proves my point. So yeah, unclutch your pearls. He's still famous to y'all. Nothing takes away from it. And stop using it as an excuse to be anti-Black. Have a good day.
Here's your masterclass on solidarity and cultural identity. On Monday, Shah Rukh Khan was at the Met Gala, a huge moment for South Asian visibility, but it could have landed a little differently. Let's start with the interview. Was it awkward? Yes. Should the interviewers have done their homework? 100%. If you're going to be interviewing one of the world's largest superstars, knowing their name and legacy is the bare minimum. But were they rude? No. Was it a misstep? Absolutely. What I really want to talk about is the theme, superfine, tailoring Black style, Black dandyism, where elegance meets resistance. Just like the interviewers should have done their homework, Shah Rukh Khan should have done his too. His comment when asked about what he was wearing and why his look was picked, his response was simply, I like black and white. Sabyasachi's comment then on how he took dandyism and represented it with SRK's identity, that was also a misstep. This points to a much deeper issue, centering yourself in moments where you shouldn't be centered. Because this wasn't about honoring South Asian aesthetics, it was about honoring Black history and Black culture and tradition. When our communities show up in spaces that aren't built for us, it's powerful, but it also requires reverence. And solidarity means knowing when this isn't about us. The same goes for Diljit, a phenomenal representation of Punjabi identity and culture. I mean, he slayed. But again, that wasn't the assignment. Now look at Priyanka Chopra, Mindy Kaling, Mona Patel. Their looks represented the theme while also understanding the history. Cultural identity without understanding can feel empty, and solidarity means that we show up in the moment, not just for it. So for my fellow South Asians, if we want a seat at the table, let's show up like we know why we're there.
So I've been seeing a lot of videos about Shah Rukh Khan at the Met Gala and how people are upset that he wasn't given the recognition that he deserves. And I'm just really confused. Like, how are you guys surprised at this? Like, this is literally a man who's part of an industry that has centered white people and Americans and America and European people for its entire existence. How do you expect someone who has idolized white people or, Bollywood that, idolizes white people to, then have those people give you recognition when you're literally lapping at their feet? I mean, look at the name, Bollywood. Like, you couldn't come up with a more original name for this giant freaking film industry that you have, other than to have a spin-off of the American version of the film industry? Like, are you joking? I mean, look at Shah Rukh Khan. How many dance numbers has he done with white people, white women, literally rows and rows of white women dancing behind him, when you have a billion people in your own freaking country who would be a million times more talented than any of those, but you decided to import a bunch of white people so that they can dance behind you in these dance numbers in the millions of movies that you've done. I mean, how are you guys acting like half of the storylines are not about going to America or being for America, or somehow that being from America makes you rich and validates how amazing some guy is, or that the girl is, going to Harvard, or, you're speaking English, and how all the actresses look white and, they just they just give platforms to the Indian actresses who look the whitest and the most European, how one of the most popular Indian actresses hardly knew Hindi, and she's literally one of the most popular Indian actresses. How are you guys surprised? How are you surprised that, when you center white people and Americans in America, and then you go out of your way to attend one of their events, and, they're not going to recognize you. They're going to treat you the way that you've been acting. You've been acting like a lapdog, and they're going to treat you like that. So I'm sorry, but be for real. And this is not about talent, right? It's about the fact that you'd rather use your energy and time and talent and effort to highlight white people, a culture that literally pillaged and colonized your country, instead of taking the time to highlight your own people, your own country, your own culture. So if you'd rather do that, this is the consequence. The consequence is that they're going to treat you like, you're a minion because you're acting like one.
Dream gig to.
And guess what, my love? You'll never book it. These videos are one of the worst examples of rage bait and anti-blackness I've seen on this app. Y'all could not wait. You could not wait to come on this app and to try to create an issue when it came to this interview. I have one question to start off. Why can't any of you say the names of the black women who are interviewing this man that y'all care so much about? Y'all are so mad and feel like he was so disrespected, but not a single one of you can say the names of the women who are interviewing this man. This man who was at the Met Gala to celebrate those women's culture. The Met Gala theme this year wasn't Bollywood. And here's my thing, right? I can understand the shock or the surprise that someone wouldn't know who he was, right? But Last time I checked, those women are not Indian women. They're not Indian American. So the idea that they may not be as well versed when it comes to Bollywood actors makes sense. The same way I would not be surprised if y'all wouldn't know every single African American actor, and I know y'all don't. The same way I know y'all don't even know what black dandyism is, nor did you have any idea what that was or even heard of it before the Met Gala. But you couldn't wait to seize the opportunity to try to drag and tear down these two black women for being disrespectful, when in reality, the interview may not have had the best flow, but it wasn't disrespectful at all. Do y'all even have any idea who Teyana Taylor is? Did he have any idea who was interviewing him? Because y'all are acting like these are two random influencers that just got plopped off of the street and thrown onto the Met Gala. Teyana Taylor's Sweet 16 was literally broadcasted on television. The girl has media training. This interview didn't have the best flow, but this wasn't a disrespectful interview, nor was it a bad interview. The way that y'all are just reaching to try to drag these black women and make it seem as if they were just horrible human beings. How could they not know who this man is? I'm so sorry, but like, celebrities are not gods, and it is okay for people to not be as aware of them as you are. And if you watch that clip, you can tell that they were aware of who they were speaking to, because you could tell that they practiced saying their names correctly. Saying that they were so uninformed while not even knowing what the theme of the Met Gala is and being upset that Bollywood culture wasn't being censored. Crazy work. I thought the Met Gala theme was all about diversity and who told you that? Who told you that? Just very loud and wrong and having way too much animosity. But wait, there's more.
Hi, I'm about to interview you, so I just want to make sure I get your name right. It's Shakira, right? No, Shah Rukh Khan. Shah Rukh Khan? Oh my god, I love you!
Can y'all name any of the black designers that were present at the Met Gala? Just name like one or two. I just feel like the whole thing of when he shows up to an event, he is the event. I'm so sorry. He was not the event at the Met Gala because his outfit wasn't even hidden like that. It wasn't even on theme like that, to be honest.
Okay, I actually have more thoughts on the Met Gala, specifically all of the Desi people. I think some of you Desi people need to touch some grass. Like, I get that y'all believe that Shah Rukh Khan is the biggest star in the world. And like, I get it. He does numbers. Indians are the biggest population globally, and we are everywhere. But like, be so fucking for real. He's the biggest celebrity in a lot of countries, not in the US, babes. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But y'all are the same ones that'll be like, oh, Beyonce's not even that great. She's just only big in America. Nobody likes her globally. Like, babes, the call is coming from inside the house. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I just feel like Teyana Taylor and Ego were not being offensive. Like, the questions were stupid, but they were the same stupid questions they asked everybody. And I just feel like, did they even write them? I just thought they were like safe questions that Vogue approved. You know what I mean? And then the theme. I know y'all told me that like, okay, I get it. The theme for the Met Gala, like the actual Met Museum or something was like, was black dandyism. And the theme for the gala was technically just like tailored to you, whatever the fuck that means, right? So like, yeah, as long as people were somewhat tailored or were some semblance of like a suit, it was technically on theme, I think. I still think that's a cop-out. I still think that people should abide by both themes to the best of their ability. Like, if I'm a nobody that was not paying attention to the Met, and I knew from like hearing people talk about the Met, black dandyism, tailoring black style, if those are all the first words that came to my mouth, then y'all, as designers and stylists and celebrities, should have known better. And then lastly, let's talk about Sabyasachi. I don't know that man, I'll be honest, and if I'm not saying his name correctly, I apologize. I don't like him after what I saw, but I will not intentionally mispronounce anyone's name. All I know about Sabyasachi is that half you bitches get engaged, and then you immediately rush to the Sabyasachi wedding showrooms in like, what, New York, London, India, and then half of you bitches go on YouTube making a video about how you were mistreated at a showroom. Whatever, I get it. He's a designer, one of the biggest ones that India's got. Here's the thing. I don't care. Like, yes, I'm Indian American, I'm first generation, but the thing about that, and you can say what you want about that. I'm not a good Indian, maybe I hate myself. I'm Indian American. I will culturally always be American first. That is what I grew up in. Like, frankly, I know more about the two women, Teyana Taylor and Ego, who is killing it on SNL. I know more about the two of them than I do about Shah Rukh Khan and Sabyasachi. I don't know shit about Sabyasachi, quite frankly. Obviously, I know Shah Rukh Khan. I know he was in a bunch of movies I watched as a kid, but like, I don't expect the world to know who he is. And Sabyasachi, I will say this right now, you owe both of those women an apology. Because sure, Shah Rukh Khan seemed really aloof and distant, like he didn't want to be there, but you're the one who made it fucking weird. You're the one who escalated that. It was so painfully obvious to the rest of us that you, in that moment, wanted to teach those two black women a lesson. You wanted to put them in their place. And that to me is quite frankly disgusting. And lastly, you TikTok bitches that are like, oh, I don't care what the theme was. I was so excited to see South Asian art and designers and fashion on the red carpet at the Met Gala. This was once in a lifetime my life is made. You're part of the fucking problem, bitch. Hello? Like, are you not listening to anything I'm saying, bitch? This was not your moment. This was not our moment. This was specifically around another marginalized community. This was around the black community. This was their time to shine. And now they're going to remember that all of the fucking Indians came and disrespected. Hello? And that's why I don't fuck with all brown people. Because I need to see how you treat other minorities before I'm like, yeah, I'm behind you. And again, Sabyasachi, apologize to those women.
The thing about this Met Gala interview controversy is the people that are upset are lying to like weasel their way out of just saying that I'm upset they didn't glaze him enough, because they clearly knew who he was. So the people saying, oh, they should have done their research. They did. They knew who he was. They knew he was a Bollywood actor. What you're upset about is that they didn't give him the proper reverence that you think he deserves. And that's okay for you to feel that way. And I'm sure if you met him, you would freak out. But like, they don't understand how famous he is and how big of a deal he is, because they probably don't really know much about him, right? Like, you can tell someone all you want about how big of a celebrity he is and how many he has billions of fans and everything like that. But if they didn't grow up watching his movies, what does that mean to them? He's just some guy who's an actor somewhere else. Like, that's what he is to a lot of people. For example, I've never heard of this guy before, literally today, okay? But if you stood up next to me and you said, this guy has sold the most movies ever, he's the richest actor, whatever, all that's great. And I would say, oh, wow, this is a famous guy. But, like, to me, he's just an actor somewhere else, right? You can't just download that into someone's brain. You can't just download that reverence. So they clearly knew who he was. They clearly knew he was a big deal. But to them, he's just another celebrity.
If it was two white women who interviewed Shah Rukh Khan at the Met Gala, this would not have been met with any of the discourse that's currently happening. Entire backlash is rooted in anti-blackness. I'm going to show you a interview of the legend Babyface and how he was rudely interviewed, rudely set aside, just so you can see what an actual rude, dismissive interview looks like versus what Shah Rukh Khan experienced with Ego and Teyana Taylor.
The genre with hip hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Travel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
Hello.
We are here with Shah Rukh Khan, who is the first male Bollywood actor to attend the Met Gala. Please tell us how it feels to make history tonight.
I don't know about history, but I'm extremely nervous and excited. And Sabyasachi, who convinced me to come here.
The only person that was rude in this entire interview process was the designer. He walked into that room with a goal and a mission to present himself and Shah Rukh Khan as the most famous man in the world because he assumed that no one would know who he is, which I understand. We understand as black people. We understand representation and why it matters. But to show up at the Black Dandy event, in an interview by two black women, and after they acknowledged the man, said the man was was making history by being the first Bollywood actor, and then you still wanted to double down and be rude to them? Let's call a spade here, guys. The women are not the one in the wrong.
And just to give you a little bit of context, Shah Rukh Khan is probably one of the most famous men in the world. And his fan following is legendary. And we nearly had a stampede outside the hotel when he came out. And, you know, when you get a man like this on the red carpet, especially when it's Black Dandy, I think representation is the most important thing. And we wanted to represent Shah Rukh Khan as Shah Rukh Khan and nobody else.
Okay, well, Sabi, I think you did your thing. Shari, you look
I will scream this from the mountaintops until I die. When black people tell you something is anti-black or it's due to racism, take a second, take a beat, look internally within yourself and ask yourself, could this be the case? There's a severe history of anti-blackness within the South Asian community with us. So I think that's the reason for it. Do with this information what you will. Have a nice day. I hope you guys stay blessed.
I'm also of the opinion or mindset that there's a time and a place for everything. This is not the Shah Rukh Khan show. All right. Yes, maybe you expected people to bow to him. To me, I feel like people are just blowing it out of proportion. It's not a big deal. Yes, he is Shah Rukh Khan. Yes, people line up at his door every single morning in India. Okay, he's that guy. He's that guy. But then there's a time and a place for everything. This is not the place where, you know, he's the big celebrity and everybody else is a fan. Okay. There's a lot of big celebrities at this event. There are superstars at this event. They may not be on this level, right? But they are still stars in their own right. All right. So I feel like it's a time and a place for everything. And the other thing I'm going to add is I feel like with events like this, get journalists, get people who fangirl over people that you know would enjoy being fangirled over. Okay, I'm not saying that's his case. He probably doesn't like it so much. Nobody knows. But then people are thinking this is how it was supposed to be because that's how they'll behave if they met him. Yeah, and let them raise the funds because that's the fundraiser, isn't it? Let them come in there. Let them dress according to the theme. Let us enjoy watching our superstars, you know, grace the red or blue or purple carpet, whatever it is, that particular year. And let the fashion expert rate the outfit, enjoy it, and let us carry on with our lives and let the superstars go be their superstars in their rightful places. Does it make sense? At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, Obia and Yobia. My country, they will say nobody is nobody. If you're a superstar, I'm also a star in my own right. Okay? Yes, maybe in India, other superstars will probably bow to him. In other places, other stars will bow to him, but it's not the case in America. Okay? Maybe they are not familiar with him. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's about black dandyism and celebrating black excellence. So why should they be putting Shah Rukh Khan on a pedestal? I don't get it. All right. And maybe the guy even doesn't care about that. You know, he doesn't even care. Can we stop? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Leave your own thoughts and opinions in the comments, and I'll see you again with another video. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.